You smell the burnt brass before your boots hit the gravel. The Nevada sun is low, painting the desert in blistered gold. There's a slight breeze, just enough to stir the dust from the empty shell casings littered around the gun range like bones from old stories. You squint at the lineup ahead. Ex-soldiers, a few young wannabes, and then her. The woman in the flannel shirt and jeans too clean for this place. No gloves, no scars, no rifle of her own. You size her up. She doesn't belong here, and yet she does. They're arguing over something, money, it sounds like. Then you catch it. One of the guys, shaved head and Delta Force tattoo peeking from under his sleeve, is grinning like a man who's sure he's won already. $1,000, he says, holding out a wad of cash like it's a fishing lure. Bet you can't even hold the damn thing, much less shoot it. She doesn't flinch. You've seen this look before, on the faces of quiet specialists before dawn raids in Kandahar, or medics kneeling beside a buddy on the floor of a Humvee riddled with holes. She just says, "I'll try." The crowd snickers. One of them mutters, "Tourist." You step a little closer. There's something strange about her. She doesn't check the scope, doesn't ask about windage or ballistics, doesn't pace off the shot, just kneels at the sniper's mat and picks up the rifle like she's done it every day of her life. This wasn't supposed to happen. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop your city and local time in the comments. I want to know where this story finds you. Now back to the dust. He points to a candle, a birthday candle, barely visible against the ridgeline nearly 1.5 miles out. You hit that, he says. You keep the cash. She doesn't even blink. The other shooters laugh louder now. One of them offers her gloves. She refuses. "I'll feel better without," she says softly, almost like she's apologizing to the wind. That's when you notice it, her hands. Steady, precise, not soft, not uncalloused. They've held things heavier than rifles, maybe lives. You lean into a whisper. "She ex." The guy beside you shakes his head. "Nope, never even enlisted. She said she never touched a weapon." "Right. Then why does the Delta guy look nervous now?" The vet leans into his friends, smirking. "This is going to be rich." And maybe he believes it. Maybe he thinks he's about to humiliate a tourist on an open range, but you don't. You've seen this play out before. The ones who talk loud usually end up eating dust. And the quiet ones? They're the ones you never bet against. Somewhere behind you, a YouTube livestream is going. The chat's popping off already. "No way she nails that shot," one user types. "This chick's never even held an M24, says another. Someone else says it's staged. You almost agree. Because who the hell bets $1,000 on a candle at 2,650 meters? That's not a shot. It's a statement. And she's about to make one. Earlier that week, the VA released a strange stat buried in one of their performance reports. Over 400,000 women veterans in the US, and nearly 70% say they've been underestimated in professional, technical, or physical domains post-service. It barely made the headlines, but stories have a funny way of finding attention on their own. This one? It was going to crack the sky. At the edge of the gravel pit, a veteran instructor quietly pulls out his rangefinder. 1,000 yards would be lucky, he mutters. But 2,650? That's stupid. No one here could make that shot. Except maybe her. There's a sudden silence, the kind that comes when something serious is about to happen. You see a few guys shift, suddenly unsure if they're witnessing a joke or the beginning of a legend. She lies prone, slow and practiced. Her cheek settles into the stock like it remembers this position. The rifle looks heavy, but it's not too much for her. Not today. Someone snorts behind you. She won't even break the dust near it. But the Delta guy is quiet now. Arms crossed, eyes narrowed. Maybe he's trying to remember if he's seen her before, maybe in passing at some training base or overseas, or maybe just in the pages of a file he was never meant to read. You hold your breath. The candle winks like a speck of sunlight at the end of the earth. "Call it," she says. The instructor blinks. "You sure?" "Call it." He clears his throat. 2,650 meters. 0 wind. Adjust for spin drift. You'll need... I've got it. She breathes once. Deep. Then again, the crowd falls dead silent. In a Facebook veterans group, a debate is raging about the Army's rumoured plan to test a new long-range optical system, one supposedly developed for next-gen urban ops. One guy posted, "No civvies pulling this off, this is just TikTok smoke." Another replied, "My niece outshot me in boot camp, and I'd bet on her over half, you geezers." The crosshair holds, you feel the air thicken, and then she squeezes. The rifle cracks like a thunderclap across the Nevada silence. Your breath hitches. Somewhere behind you, someone lets out a low whistle, but the sound barely registers. Everyone's eyes are pinned to the spot on the horizon where the candle sits, barely a glimmer in the heat haze. There's no visible explosion, no Hollywood fireball, just stillness. Like the world is holding its breath. She doesn't lift her head. Not yet. Her finger lingers on the trigger like it's holding time itself hostage. You hear the spotter beside the Delta guy mutter 2.3 seconds. You count 1, 2. Then pop, a faint puff, a flicker where the candle once was. Nobody says a thing. You didn't imagine it. You know you saw it too. The guy who made the bet slowly removes his sunglasses, blinks hard. His jaw tightens. "No way," he says, not to anyone in particular. That wasn't possible. But it was, and she just did it. She stands slowly, brushing off her jeans like she just finished planting something in a garden. Her eyes never flick to the $1,000 still dangling in his hand. They lock onto you instead. And it hits you. You have seen that look before. Not just in combat zones, in hospitals, in courtrooms, in the halls of the VA where forgotten names echo down dusty corridors. That look doesn't ask for credit. It dares you to deny it. He tries to laugh, the Delta guy. A bitter chuckle. Dumb luck. That's when she speaks, calm, steady. You know it wasn't. A younger guy from the crowd stammers, "Well, who taught you to shoot like that?" She doesn't answer directly. "My father had shaky hands, so when I was 10, I learned to steady mine." The crowd parts a little. Someone presses a phone to her face, live stream still running. "What's your name? Instagram?" She shakes her head. Doesn't matter. But it does. It always does. Because by morning, the footage is everywhere. And people do find her name. Her story isn't exactly classified, but it's buried deep. You start digging when you get home, like so many others now scrolling through every sniper thread and military forum that's suddenly exploding with speculation. Her name's Kara Lang. No service record. No contractor ID. Not even a hunting license on file. Just one blurry mention in a 2014 congressional budget footnote for off-books training consultants. And another, unconfirmed, attached to an after-action report from a failed extraction in Basra. You keep scrolling. Then you find it, an old veterans blog from 2016. Only a few entries, mostly poems, weird philosophical bits, but one post sticks with you. It's dated Memorial Day and titled Ghost Hands. The final line reads, "They trained me to disappear. I never expected to vanish from myself." The VA never listed her, and maybe they never will. You go back to the video, it's been remixed with music now. People are adding reaction clips, TikTokers filming themselves gasping, influencers pretending to shoot air rifles in response, even a retired Marine trying to recreate the shot on his property in Arizona. But the original? It's hit over 8 million views in 24 hours. Underneath it, the comments are split wide open. "She's fake, bro. CGI. That's no civilian. That's a ghost asset. I served 15 years and I've never seen a woman pull that off." Then one catches your eye, from a verified user. Just says, "I know that shot. I saw her take one just like it, Kabul, 2009. You lean back in your chair, because now this isn't just a fluke, it's a signal. Over on Reddit, the /r Veterans Unfiltered thread is in full meltdown. Someone's compiled satellite analysis trying to verify the shot. Others are arguing about whether her form was textbook or instinctive. One guy posts a screenshot of her face and captions it, "I swear she saved my convoy in Helmand. If you're reading this, thank you." Another veteran responds with a meme. A female soldier with a halo made of crosshairs. Caption, "Our Lady of Ballistics." But not everyone is cheering. On a conservative vet forum, a retired Colonel vents, "This is why you don't hand out long-range credibility like Halloween candy. This woman's stunt is disrespectful to actual sniper schools." A reply comes fast and brutal. "Respectfully, sir, you sound scared." Meanwhile, over on Twitter, X now, an account known for digging into Black Ops legends tweets a thread titled, "The Lang Pattern, Disappearances, Disavowals and Dots Connecting in Blood." You skim it. A possible training stint in eastern Ukraine. Discreet consulting in Nigeria. An op gone wrong in South Sudan. all linked to whispers about a woman with pinpoint aim and no record. That quirky tidbit. There's an old YouTube gear review from 2011 where someone's testing prototype optics in Mongolia. At the 3:12 mark, a woman's voice says, "Let's see if I can hit the top of that rock." One shot later, the camera shakes. The guy mutters, "Who the hell are you?" Same voice. You swear it. The drama keeps building. At the local VA hospital, someone printed her still frame and taped it above the coffee station. Underneath it, a sticky note reads, "For every time they said we couldn't." You start hearing murmurs from younger vets, women mostly, who say they've watched that video on loop. Not for the gun, for the moment she stands, for the quiet she commands. One says on Instagram, "She reminded me I'm allowed to take up space, even at the range." But others stay skeptical. She's a psyop, she's a myth, she's not real. You watch the footage again, she looks very real to you. You can still hear the shot days later. Not the bang, but the silence that followed it. The kind that stays with you. The kind that says something impossible just happened, and now the rules of the world are different. It's morning when you visit the range again, curiosity dragging your boots back to that scorched gravel. The candle's gone, of course. All that's left is a faint scorch on a rock where the wax had melted. Someone's marked it with a tiny American flag stuck into a spent .50 BMG casing. Beneath it, a hand-scrawled note reads, "Lang was here." You don't laugh. You're not the only one who returns. Throughout the day, people come and go. Some leave flowers. Some reenact the shot with air rifles or mock scopes. A few just stand in silence, staring out at the horizon, wondering if it really happened. And still, the internet debates. Military Times runs a short op-ed titled "One Shot, One Statement, What the Lang Clip Means for Us All." In it, a retired SEAL admits, taught to recognize exceptionalism, but we're not always trained to accept where it comes from. On Facebook, a Gold Star mom comments, "I watched that clip 20 times, not because of the shot, because she reminded me of my daughter. People always thought she couldn't do it either." Then the twist comes. A week after the shot, footage leaks, night vision, grainy, clearly taken from a drone. It shows a compound in Somalia, time-stamped 2018. A single figure moves through the brush, low and precise. One shot, one guard down. Another angle, same person, same frame. But in that footage, you see her face. It's Lang. The military news blog UAP Recon posts a blurry frame comparison with the title, "Delta Shot Girl? Try Shadow Operative." They connect her to a never-confirmed operation targeting an arms trafficker named Iraq, who reportedly vanished after an alleged CIA intercept team was cut off in the field. The official story, no survivors. But now, people wonder if Lang was there, or if she was the team. The media takes hold fast. NBC Nightly News runs a segment, "Mystery Sniper or Internet Hoax." They interview a former military analyst who half smirks and says, "Sometimes the best operators are the ones nobody writes into the story." In the YouTube comments under the original video, a pinned update reads, "For anyone asking, we're trying to reach her. She hasn't responded, but we know she's real." Channel admin Vetscope TV. You notice the tone shifting. No longer is it just awe. Now it's mythology. Someone makes a limited run NFT of the shot. Others start selling t-shirts. 2,650 club on the front, a candle with crosshairs on the back. TikTok blows up again when a former Air Force marksman attempts the shot at the exact range. He misses, by feet. His final clip, "I underestimated her. Shame on me." That's when the candle memes start. But not as jokes, almost as tributes. Veteran Discord groups adopt the candle as a reaction emoji, equals belief. And then, the strangest thing happens. She shows up. Not in person, not online, but in action. A clip drops on Reddit. Blurry helmet cam footage from a training session in Oregon. Private range, no identifiers. The shooter is silent, face obscured, but the posture, the rhythm, it's her. You just know. 3 steel targets, 3 shots, all under 5 seconds. The final one rings out, and the people in the background just start clapping. But no one says her name. Instead, a small group of female veterans launches a podcast titled Triggering Truth, focused on overlooked female contributions in covert ops and combat roles. Their first guest is a former Marine sharpshooter who says, "You don't have to believe the Lang shot, but you should believe in the fact that someone like her could exist." A post from Vets Unspoken reads, "Lang is more than a sniper. She's a mirror. Look into it. Even politicians jump in. A senator from Texas tweets, "If she's real, she deserves a medal. If she's not, we still need to ask why we've never heard stories like hers before." The VA's response? Silence. But not ignorance. Internally, they launch a quiet review of unlisted advisors and temporary training specialists from the past 20 years. No names are released. But in a Federal News Network piece, a whistleblower says, "She was part of the group no one wanted to talk about, because they didn't fit the narrative, because they weren't supposed to be better." That same day, a vet from Colorado posts a thread about meeting Lang briefly in 2015, claims she volunteered with wildfire response teams. She never talked about her past, just wanted to help. You pause on that, because now you're not just looking at an incredible shot, you're looking at a thread of presence, one that stretches across continents, operations, forgotten crises, and never credited missions. But the Delta guy, he's vanished. No public statements, no follow-ups. His Instagram's wiped. Some say he moved out of state. Others claim he was pulled aside by military brass and told to shut up. A conspiracy subreddit floats the idea that he was part of a staged psyop, but even they can't agree on why. Still, Lang doesn't resurface, not in the way the internet wants her to. No TikTok, no interviews, no sponsorships, no TED Talks, and that's when people really start to believe, because the loudest legends don't yell, they wait. The VA has a recruitment campaign floating around social media, one you hadn't noticed before. It's a simple poster, black background, silhouette of a woman aiming down sights, hair tucked behind her ear. The tagline? "They said she couldn't, so she did." There's no signature, no name, but people start tagging it as Lang code. You see a kid wearing that poster on a shirt walking down your street. He's probably 10. He's holding a Nerf rifle. And the shirt? The back reads, "Aim steady, live loud." You wonder if he even knows what that shot really meant. You wonder if any of us do. You're standing in your garage, dust on your palms, rifle slung across the workbench. It's late, quiet. Just you, your gear, and a paused frame from the Lang video glowing on your laptop screen. The candle is mid-pop, a puff of vapor like a magician's trick. You rewind it, pause it again. The angle of her body, the curve of her spine, the stillness in her eyes. You can't stop watching. You're not alone. That week, the video becomes the most shared military-related clip in years. It overtakes war footage, battlefield medals, even recruitment ads. Not just for the shot, but for the moment. There's something about it, clean, precise, defiant, without drama. People start calling it the candle drop. Mainstream networks latch on. MSNBC runs a segment titled Sniper or Symbol. The analyst stares at the camera and says, "Sometimes one shot is louder than 1,000 stories." The anchor doesn't reply, just nods slowly. CNN pushes a more cautious tone, inviting a panel of firearms experts. One argues, there's no way a first-time shooter could make that shot, not at 2,650 meters. But another, a former instructor at Fort Benning, says quietly, "I've seen quieter hands do louder things." Still, the debate shifts fast, from how she did it to what it means. Veterans on TikTok flood the platform with candle challenges, their own long-range shots, some serious, some comical. One even tries it with a crossbow. "Didn't make it," he laughs, "but I felt something lining up, like I was shooting for more than a wick." But then comes the file drop. Late one night, a military whistleblower anonymously leaks a classified debrief log to a Fringe podcast. The episode is titled Operation Ghost Circuit. It details a covert infiltration op from 2012. No names, just roles. The marksman, female. No ID, just listed as Candle, a code name. The podcast host, a Vietnam vet with a voice like gravel, says at the end, they didn't name her in the report because they didn't know what she was, only what she could do. That clip alone gets 1.5 million listens in 72 hours. And now Candle isn't just a viral nickname, it's a code name that veterans and civilians alike start adopting as a symbol. Forums update their user titles, Candle Tier, Candle Rank, Confirmed. Even Call of Duty custom servers begin offering Lang mode, where players must make one impossible shot to level up. Somewhere in Arizona, a gun club hosts a public match called Candle Range, and the rules are simple. Hit a birthday candle at any distance over 2,500 meters. Winner gets a patch. No cash, just pride. You find the footage 2 days later. A teenage girl with braces hits the candle at 2,503 meters. Not dead center, but close enough to snap it in two. Her dad yells so loud the camera shakes. The video caption reads, "For every daughter who was told she couldn't." But not everyone cheers. Over on Vet Exchange, a mill blogger posts a scathing takedown. "We are worshipping ghosts now. A phantom woman makes one flashy trick shot, and everyone forgets the thousands of hours our trained men put in. This is disrespect, not inspiration." The replies are relentless. One user says, "Nobody forgot, we just finally saw all of us." A disabled vet named Jamie responds, "I haven't fired a weapon in 9 years, but I watched her lie down and I felt my body remember how to move." This story has grown legs. Fast ones. You scroll to Reddit. In a thread titled "Lang Confirmed," someone posts a screen capture from a DoD training manual. The section, Civ Asset Engagements, Ethics and Visibility. One bullet point under Black Ops training contributors reads, "Lang K, non-enlisted. Observed 98% accuracy rating beyond 2,000 meters. Removed from public-facing media." It's a whisper, but one you feel in your teeth. That same day, Stars and Stripes runs an editorial. The headline, "The Shot That Cut Through the Noise." The writer argues Lang's viral moment isn't about gender or even guns, it's about recognition. What we saw was someone who wasn't allowed to be in the room walk in anyway and change the air. And then the candle strikes again, this time in Washington. During a press conference on military funding, a young congresswoman closes her speech with an unexpected line. "To anyone watching who thinks they don't belong in our defense narrative, remember the woman who lit the world with a single shot." It doesn't make the headlines, but it spreads. The image of the candle becomes a symbol of precision and protest. A small but growing wave of service members, especially women and LGBTQ+ vets, begin adding it to their avatars, their nameplates, their uniforms in casual settings. It's not rebellion, it's remembrance. And still, Lang stays gone. That's what makes the twist land so hard. A well-known veteran-owned apparel company, Valor Built, announces a collaboration with a mystery contributor. They release a new line called Edge Quiet. No names, just the tagline, "Don't aim louder, aim better." The proceeds go to underfunded vet care programs in rural counties. Their promo video is simple. A silhouette of a woman kneeling at a long-range mat, her hand brushing the earth, no face, just the candle again. A single word scrawled across the screen, "Still." People know it's her, because only one person would choose stillness as her statement. The backlash dies down after that. Even the loudest critics can't argue with charity. And you begin to feel it too, that slow turn inside, that pull towards something steady in the midst of all the noise. You don't know if Lang ever wanted any of this, the fame, the memes, the reverence, but maybe that's why it all happened the way it did. One moment, one shot, no speech, no logo, just a candle at the edge of the world, and someone steady enough to put it out. You wake up to notifications buzzing your phone like angry bees. Every vet group, every military subreddit, every news aggregator is sounding off. But the message is the same. VA statement drops on Lang case. You blink, reread it. The Department of Veterans Affairs, normally cautious, bureaucratic, half a step behind the cultural curve, has issued an official acknowledgement. Not of the shot, not even of Lang by name, but of the growing conversation around underrepresented veteran expertise and public perception of capability. You read the key quote twice. "We support all veterans, whether enlisted or not, who have demonstrated service, courage and operational excellence in capacities not traditionally acknowledged within our existing frameworks." It's not a full confession. But in government speak, that's thunder. By lunch, everyone's dissecting the statement. Podcasts, YouTube breakdowns, vet forums erupting with debates. Some applaud the gesture, others call it a smokescreen. But almost no one misses the implication. They're talking about her. And suddenly the question stops being whether Lang is real. It becomes, why was she hidden in the first place? Military historians dig deeper. An AP feature, The Lang Gap, What We Missed in Our Own Ranks, maps the decades of buried field reports where unnamed contributors, often described as civilian adjuncts or off-book assets, played roles in critical moments. The numbers don't lie. Names were left out. Successes uncited, for reasons never fully explained. And now the public wants answers. A viral hashtag begins trending. Where was Lang? You scroll Twitter. One post shows side-by-side clips, Lang's shot and footage from a VA recruitment ad circa 2015. The ad featured a man firing downrange, voiceover declaring excellence demands structure. The user's caption, cool. But where was Lang in this picture? Someone else tweets, she hit a candle from 2,650 meters. You can't even see a woman unless she's on a pamphlet. The commentary heats up. On vetserve.org, a veteran social worker named Keisha Barnes posts an open letter. Lang's shot broke something loose. Not just in the system, in all of us. She's proof that some of the best were never allowed to wear the uniform, and now the uniform has to catch up. Military.com runs a heated panel interview. 3 guests. One, a retired sniper instructor, says, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't mad at first. We trained years for shots like that. She shows up, makes one, and vanishes. Felt like cheating. Another vet, former EOD, leans forward. Then why'd it move you? Why'd you watch it 20 times? The instructor just nods slowly, because I know the kind of silence she walked through to get there. You feel that, and you're not alone. In one of the strangest ripple effects, shooting ranges across the country report a massive increase in female attendance. Local news segments run headlines like, Lang effect spurs new interest in long-range marksmanship. In Colorado, an all-women's shooting group called Precision Sisters announces a new scholarship in Lang's honor. The fund supports firearm safety and competition training for girls under 18. Their motto, earn your stillness. But the bigger quake is yet to come. Because suddenly, Lang isn't just inspiring shooters, she's sparking policy. A leaked draft memo from a Pentagon internal review surfaces on UAP.org. It outlines recommendations to recognize external operational contributors within a new merit framework. The idea? A shadow commendation system. For assets who were never allowed into the formal ranks, but whose impact is too great to keep ignoring. The memo's cover letter simply reads, Lang Protocol, Discussion Draft. The Senate gets involved next. A junior senator from Illinois introduces a bill nicknamed the Candle Act, short for Civilian Acknowledgement of Non-Declared Lethality Experts. It proposes VA support benefits for proven contributors with unofficial records. The military establishment doesn't know how to react. You watch the hearings on C-SPAN as generals dance around the topic, clearly uncomfortable. We value all contributors, one says, but operational transparency must be preserved. A veteran-turned-congresswoman slams her hand on the desk. You value all contributors now because one of them made you look, because one of them hit a candle in the wind. The room goes silent. Outside, candle-shaped pins start appearing on backpacks, duffels, flight suits, not issued, not approved, but worn with purpose. At Fort Bragg, someone lays a birthday candle at the foot of the war memorial with a single word carved into the base, respect. Meanwhile, on TikTok, one of Lang's biggest skeptics, an army vet-turned-influencer, uploads a different kind of video. It's just him, looking into the camera. He doesn't say her name. Just this, I didn't believe her. But when my daughter watched that shot and said, I want to try, I realized what it meant. Lang, wherever you are, thank you. The comments explode. Even celebrities join in. An actor from a popular military drama series posts a tribute montage, long-range shots, overlaid with the final sound of her rifle. Caption, a candle doesn't burn smaller just because it lights quietly. The story hits classrooms, then campuses. A university in Oregon starts a seminar titled Narrative Suppression and Gendered Recognition in Security Histories. One of the required readings? An essay on the Lang incident. You skim the course syllabus. One phrase jumps out, heroism has never asked for applause, it's only ever asked for room. Lang gave us a room. Now people want to build it. The VA tries to regain control of the story. Releases a video, a montage of veterans, unnamed, unscripted, simply saying, I see you. The last frame? A candle burning on a steel platform. They're still not naming her, but they don't have to anymore, because the shot already said everything. And Lang? She never shows. Not in public, not online. Not even through proxies, which only deepens the power of what she did, because silence was always her loudest weapon. And maybe it still is. It's been months since the shot, and yet it still hangs in the air like a thunderclap that refuses to echo out, not just in memory, but in consequence. The world's moved on, like it always does. News cycles burn out, new scandals rise, political infighting drowns the signal in static. But that image, The candle shivering on the horizon, the trigger finger curled in perfect stillness, keeps resurfacing like a haunting. You're walking past a bookstore in DC when you see it. Front display, a hardcover titled She Never Missed. No author listed, just a silhouette on the dust jacket, a prone figure, a spark in the distance. Below it a single line, inspired by a true moment. You open it. The first chapter is fiction, clearly, but as you read you see pieces, fragments of the forums, whispers from the op files, the same sequence of seconds that everyone has tried to explain. You close it and smile. She's made it into myth now. A week later, the Pentagon quietly retires an old training doctrine. Buried in the footnotes of the new one is a curious phrase under psychological prep for long-range operators. Lang-style focus technique. Visualize the objective, ignore the doubters. Someone wrote that on purpose. Someone inside knows her name. And still, she says nothing. Her presence takes on a spiritual texture. A retired chaplain in Texas writes a blog entry titled The Gospel According to the Shot. It reads, "She did not ask for recognition. She did not sign autographs. But in her stillness, she reminded us that the unseen can still shake the earth." You keep reading posts like that, more now than ever. Veterans, especially the overlooked, the passed over, the misfiled, they keep invoking her. Not just for the skill, for the audacity. In a private support group for women vets suffering PTSD, a former airman posts, "I used to feel like a ghost in my own skin. Then I watched her stand. That stillness? That was the first thing I recognized in a long time." Someone replies, "She lit a candle for us all. We're just keeping it alive." And they are. Every month a new story drops. A vet somewhere doing something unexpected, founding a non-profit, acing an elite competition, earning a tech grant, publishing a memoir that goes viral. Almost every time there's a nod, a mention. A quiet Lang sent me. It's not a movement, not exactly. It's more like a shift. At a VA center in Vermont, a mural goes up. It's not flashy, just a desert range, a small blue sky, and in the distance a glimmer of flame. Underneath, one quiet moment, one lasting mark. You visit it, take a picture, post it in your group chat. The messages start pouring in. She's still out there. She knows, has to. Lang doesn't need to post. She already spoke. You don't even know who started the chat thread anymore, but it doesn't matter. Everyone in it has a piece of her story, and now they carry it like a badge. One day you get a message from a friend. Former army. Quiet guy. Rarely talks. He sends a link. It's a video from a private competition in Wyoming. Invite only. No press. No public scoreboard. Just skill. The clip shows a woman taking a shot at 2,700 meters. She's masked. No name given. But the posture, it's her. You know it. The sound of the rifle. The way the spotter doesn't flinch. The small smile before the recoil. It's all there. The shot hits. The crowd doesn't cheer. They just nod. The caption on the upload, "She still holds." It goes viral within hours. But the name Lang never appears. Because that's the thing now. She's not chasing recognition. She is recognition. And through her silence, others are finding their voices. You think back to that first moment, standing on the gravel, watching her steady hands, the way she didn't blink when the candle was called. You realize she wasn't proving anything. She was revealing something, and what she revealed is still unfolding. One long-range instructor writes an article in Veterans Journal titled "Training for the Candle, Teaching Stillness as Skill." He writes, "The Lang phenomenon isn't about ego. It's about what happens when preparation, focus, and pressure all meet in a second you don't get back." His closing sentence? "She showed us what it looks like when someone knows exactly who they are. At the moment it matters most." The article goes viral. At a firearms conference in Nevada, a panel discusses Lang's Law, the unofficial rule now forming in precision shooting circles. Don't underestimate the quiet ones. They've seen what silence can do. At the same event, a small booth sells candles in brass shell casings. On the label, "Light it, then earn the right to put it out." You don't buy one. You just light one when you get home. Not for the myth, for the moment. And in the flicker, you remember that girl on the gravel, the wind in her shirt, the way her hands didn't shake, the way she gave us a story we couldn't ignore and then refused to be part of the applause. You sit quietly, and for the first time in a long while, you feel steady. So now you slow your breathing, let your shoulders relax, let the story settle around you, not like fireworks fading, but like embers glowing beneath ash. This wasn't a tale of explosions. It wasn't about war or victory in the usual sense. It was about silence and precision, and the way one person's stillness can ripple into an entire generation of forgotten voices, finally finding space to speak. You think of the candle, small, ridiculous, flickering at the end of 2,650 meters, and yet she hit it. Not for fame, not for spite, but because it was there. Because someone dared her to try. Because she knew she could. Now she doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, and neither do you. You're here, you're present, and sometimes that's the whole battle. So take this with you, the sense that something powerful can come from a whisper, that the loudest impact might not leave a crater, but a quiet impression in the dust. And if someone ever doubts your stillness, smile. Then light the candle and aim true.